Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Element event. This week we are running qualifier number 2, a follow-up of last week with the same rules and format. This is a solos event, and we are back with OSK. Tell me how you're doing today, my man.
Man, I'm doing great. I already have my first mug of coffee. I got my second one literally right here. My heart is pounding out of my chest, and I'm ready to see some plays today. Tell us what we have on the table today, plays.
Yeah, we got some great matches. Just to recap last week as well, Tfal took it all home. In second place, we had Soft. Third, followed up with Frozen NQ, Darkbreakers in fourth, and kept coming out in fifth. Remember that those scores are not going to lock you in completely to the finals. We have to wait until all the qualifiers are played and you stack up against all 25 top scores. Now, getting into today, where everybody else will qualify through to another match, we got some big names in here, OSK. I got some predictions to throw out, but I want to hear it from the genius himself first. Tell me what you got.
Oh, please. I ain't no genius, but I want to be looking at three names in particular. I want to be looking at Borsalino here. He's our resident Stone Shaper master. He always brings it out and always does well with it, so that's awesome. I also want to see how Kalnor is going to do. He's our resident Pyromancer master, who he's always maining the class. He barely plays anything else, and he usually does pretty well in these sorts of events, so I'm looking at him too. But the big one I want to focus on is Megaverse. This man has been an absolute menace in scrims and pubs. Everywhere you look, you see Megaverse's name in the kill feed, you know you're about to get exiled. So I think he has a real potential to take the whole thing, and I'm really expecting some big things out of him today.
Yeah, those are some good predictions right there. I'm going to follow you up on that Borsalino call. He's a top player, legendary from the beginning of Spellbreak competitive. But I think you're forgetting about Croza in here, OSK. That dude is a threat. He plays conduit to a high degree. And now that Shadow Step is back in the game, because remember, last week on Saturday, there was no Shadow Step available. This week, The rune is out and ready to fight. Croza on the conduit. You know Shadow Step synergizes well with that build. I think he could have a big day. And my sleeper pick is Rosevalius, OSK. When we ended this competitive in the last closed beta phase, Rosevalius popped off in one of our last events. So he's going to have my faith going into this game. There's a lot of other notable names. This is a big event. We had some big names last week as well. We told you the top 5 results, and we're going to see what happens here. We're just about to get into the game. But I want to hear your thoughts on Shadow Step coming back. Do you think Toxicologist is going to actually be a threat? Because we didn't see it that much last week. Barely at all.
Let me tell you about Toxicologists, okay? So the big build you're going to be looking out for, you can run any 2 talents in the body and spirit, but the big thing you're looking out for is Runic Fluency with Shadow Step with Toxicologist. We know that Outbreak from Toxicologist applies to any time you're invisible, whether it's from your Vanishing Mist or from your rune. So if you have 3 chances to sort of burst someone down with your Outbreak, that's going to be huge. And I think it really is going to play into the solo. It works the best in solos. You don't have as many people focusing you down at one time. So I'm thinking it's going to be pretty comparable to Pyro picks, I would think. Conduit obviously stays at the top, but I think Toxicologist is going to make a real name for itself here. We've seen how players are able to weave in and out of that sort of dangerous use of Vanishing Mist. They're able to get it off without getting set on fire themselves pretty reliably. So I am expecting a big showing from them. Absolutely.
Yeah, one thing I do love about Shadow Step as well is just having it in the loot table makes a difference early. If you pop a chest and you get a Shadow Step, that is just like picking up a dash in an early fight. That is such an advantage. We're about to get into game 1, but I quickly want to give some credit because I forgot to shout out Team Nasty that's in this event. They have multiple players playing today, Blizz and Shingy. They had some great games in the closed beta phases, and I'm excited to have Team Nasty back out here competing again. Shout out to them and Spooks as well. That's another top player that we have to mention before we get into today's action. I'm hearing that the port is just starting up. We're just about to drop into the Fracture OSK and get ourselves into game 1. I'm excited to see it. We're going to see a lot of different things. We're just waiting for Chrono Master to really come out back into the game, back into the fold. But we'll see if that ever returns in its state. That'll definitely make a change to some of the conduit builds that we see coming out. Scavenger as well is something that I was expecting to see more of. We saw a little bit of that coming through, but let's forget about all this pregame talk and get into the match here. Right into it, we got Ace Shidness as he rolls through. Now we're looking at Incognimus, taking a couple lightning strikes at his opponent, looking at the fireballs too, but actually hits himself on the AoE and now getting burned. That Ignite's going to stick and he will drop. Samajar drops him down early. That pronunciation was awful, but we're going to roll with it, OSK.
Absolutely, and we saw the worst sort of drop you can expect to get from Incognimus there. He didn't really find anything worth the meaning here, but we are going to hop over to Kalnor here. He finds himself in a situation where he maybe can line up a frost shot. He is Going to go ahead and run the Pyromancer like we discussed, running that patented 222 build 2.0 with the recovery instead of the thirsty this time. Does see him right here, but he's going to get blocked off by the firewall. Maybe he can maneuver around just a little bit, but he has no rune, so he needs to play this a little bit safer. There's no real source of escape here until he gets his Firefly skill, so he needs to be very careful getting shot on here in the middle of the early game.
Yeah, he took a shot to the toes right there. Looking at the kill feed as well, we see infinite accuracy picks up an early kill on the Pyro, or at least the Fire Gauntlet, we know at the very least. But as you said, Kellner has no rune and no amulet, so his mobility is severely limited. Only the pink boots are helping him out. Picks up the Toxic for the close range and immediately turns the fight. Hits him down with a 25 shot. He's just HP, OSK. This is a major advantage for Kellner to push. Now looking for it. Both fireballs collide, but a bit of damage actually went to his opponent due to the closeness. Ignite does stick to Kellner as he rolls backwards. Ooh. This is so awkward. You see how bad he needs a rune. But the DF ignites, and so does it eat onto Kellner from the opponent. Both players are so low here. Recovery is helping Kellner just a little bit as he looks to get a pot. This is a sketchy decision. His opponent has high ground and can jump down whenever. Kellner knows he has a belt, but there's no armor in it. It's useless at this point as the stone will sit there. Kellner doesn't actually re-engage, but his opponent does. Look at the armor. This is a new player. Kellner has to get out of here and get out of here now as he takes another shot, OSK.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to find himself on the outside part of this fight. That is a third party, like you mentioned. He needs to find a way to get to some high ground and sort of break line of sight with his teammate. We saw the fortitude come out right there from his opponent. He is trying to mix up the message a little bit. Maybe he puts down the Toxic Cloud without the Ignite to make him think that it's a toxicologist. I'm not sure what the mind games are right there, but it looks like he did separate himself out pretty well. I think he's free right now. I think he's actually free. He's going to be able to get away and pot up quite nicely. So good job from Kellner in the disengage. Now we're going to hop over to Trago, who looks like he was the, actually, it's a different location of the map. Ignore what I'm about to say, but he does find himself as a toxicologist, like I mentioned. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he does have that shadow step. We talked about that as well. Trago now just getting on that back corner, looking for the frost shot, but just barely misses it. Now his opponent does take a little bit of cover. Trago looks for the dash through his cloud, but doesn't actually get much range on it. Goes for another try there, and that looked a little bit better. Now he's going around the side, looking for the start of the fight. Chaos NY in the kill feed with the kill of his own, but look at the flick. Trago gets a 47. Corrosion's going to help his case just a little bit. Lightning goes over his head, doesn't connect, and now look at the flicks. 9 damage just off the top. Trago is trading. Both players are super even into this fight. Going to be a sketchy one to pull out. 5 seconds on Shadow Step. Trago, that's going to be your window to push. Frost Sorcery is off cooldown as well, so Trago has all sorts of tools to his advantage. Jumps over into the front, now looks for it, but just whiffs it. Turns over the side and eats a fireball plus the flame wall damage. And now Trago is just on the back foot. Oh, okay, this was not how we saw this going. The lightning coming out of the pocket as well. Trago is under pressure from this pyro / lightning player. Gotta be careful as he jumps over the top now. Trago backing up, taking more damage. Decently avoids the CC, though Harmony would have blocked him from any form of actual CC connecting, but the damage is crucial. Trago now down to just 42. Recovery is helping him a little bit as well. Dexterity is a bit of a sketchy choice, and Trago doesn't secure any kill.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Trago's not actually part of the tournament. This is actually a fill-in, so he might actually wreak some havoc on our tournament here. He's not going to be earning any points, obviously, but I want to see how the effect of him being in the lobby plays into the rest of our contestants. This is actually quite funny. But he is running more of a competitive build here. He's running very safe. He does have dexterity of all things, which is kind of surprising in a solo environment. We're going to get a new angle on this fight here, or maybe jump over to another one. Looks like we will. The infinite accuracy coming out with, look at that. Look at all those scrolls. He is fully educated, ready to take on a fight if it comes his way, running with the flight as well in a rushdown style of build here with the Toxic. No long range option. And here we have our main man, Megaverse. He is rocking the Stone Shaper. Interesting choice from him, but it's something that he's known for. And he is running the 222, your patented 222 2.0 build, and finds himself in the middle of an engagement. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, he jumps up with that first rune charge, has it up again, legendary. So remember how low that cooldown is going to be. Connects a little bit off the DF due to the flame wall, drops another spring step, and hits a fireball to the boot. 34 going to land and eats one to the face. Megaverse has to be careful as he tanks a lot of damage here. Stone Shaper isn't doing him any favors in this dust pool arena. It is so hard to find an angle when somebody's standing on the ground with so much high ground available in this little area. Now Megaverse going to turn back around, throws the boulder, but actually misses a crucial shot. Lands an air nair shot to make up for it just a little bit. Spring Step going to be burned. Megaverse is just so hard to actually hit due to the low cooldown of his rune, but he's also not doing so much damage of his own. This is such a weird fight to see from a top angle. Also, just paying attention to the kill feed really quickly, Borsalino, the man we were hyping up, actually went down early. Spook's got a kill of his own, and Chaos NY picked up a double kill, one of which was on Croza. So the kill feed is just showing you how crazy our game one is going to be as we continue to watch Megaverse reset here.
Yeah, definitely. The build that he's running here is quite, it's quite interesting because he's not running the recovery here. He is opting to run the thirsty, looking to disengage from combat very often to get that sort of heal off. And now we see he is engaging into a fight. Almost all of his armor on the opponent is gone, and now he'll be able to just do. He's doing some heavy damage right now. I can't even find my speech. One more hit will do it, and he'll just need to sort of reposition himself on the higher ground. Looks like he will do that here. He has a boulder on deck.
Ooh,
that one connects.
What a quick little switch up right there. That is such a common move with the Stone Shaper, changing off the boulder to the basic attack. Hits a fireball over the top. His opponent is just one tick from dead, but Megaverse doesn't follow it. This is going to be a close one coming down to it. The Spring Step is really helping him catch up here. Throws a boulder, but doesn't land it on the top of the head. Megaverse just needs one more tick of damage. I'm praying for it to connect, but it just won't land. Megaverse now following through the opponent's Firefly, throwing the boulder, and that should do it. He finishes the kill after what seems like half an hour of constant fighting. He is honestly just lucky he didn't get third party. In Spellbreak, if you spend that long picking a fight, you are opting to get third party. But Megaverse nonetheless does secure a kill and gets away with it. Now we're looking at Nasty Blizz. Got himself that TV logo in the name as well, so you know he's advertising just a little bit. And he's got that Tempest build as well. This is interesting, OSK. The Tempest in game one. I like the confidence from Blitz.
Yeah, definitely. We know that Tempest is quite... Oh, nice shot there. He is rocking the streamer build as well. The Tempest with the Frost, not really good in mid-range engagements, rather. But if he can land his shots like he is right now, that's 2 for 2. Now he just needs 2 more shots to sort of close that fight out. He's rocking it, man. He is making it work very well for himself. He already has an Exile on the day, and he'll be able to just follow up very, very nicely. Tempest does have that ability to sort of dodge anything that's thrown at him, minus maybe a lightning, but he is in the middle of the engagement here on the third party opportunity. Can he land the shot? What a shot!
Everybody's playing, and a Nasty Blizz is playing for YouTube highlights. He hits a banger onto Zayaf, and the game must go on. 9 people left, and this is just a showmanship play from Nasty Blizz. The Tempest really paying off. 79 on the top of the head. Megaverse also picks up a kill in the kill feed with Stone, so there's only 9 people left. One thing through all this chaos that I must point out is how few people there are left in this game 1 circle. The area is massive, and there's only 9 people left. We are used to seeing very slow competitive games, but ever since launch OSK, it has just been some hectic matches. Spooks is coming up now with that Shadow Step, looking for a new angle. Will take a little bit of storm damage because he's not thinking of running out. Megaverse also getting a kill, this time onto Chaos NY, and that makes it 8. OSK, this game is funneling and funneling quickly.
Yeah, and you're seeing a familiar name up there in the kill feed as well. Megaverse is absolutely dominating this game. That's 3 Exiles alone in the kill feed for himself right there. That's a nice pickup for Rose Valius on that Frost. That's one of your picks here. Looks like he's doing pretty well. Can't find any Exiles yet, but I think he's going to run into the Megaverse. He didn't see him on his left-hand side. He did not see it, and now he's getting punished for it so heavily. And that is not Megaverse. That's another player, but he is down to about 60 HP, down to 30 now in the zone. He's going to get destroyed by infinite accuracy.
You know, I did hear a lot of players talking in scrims about how aggressive infinite accuracy plays. We were talking about W keys, and they said he has his glued to the ground. Look at him push through to the storm to land some face-up fire shots and finish off a kill. Now we're looking back at Megaverse. Still has that Spring Step on legendary cooldown, rocking the patchwork as well. Looking for another angle to get back into this fight. Sees an opponent potting. This is your chance. 42 with the fireball. That is an assassination, and Kalmar will draw. That was 72 damage in a short burst. That's like an ice shot, except it was a boulder and a fireball. What a beautiful combo from Megaverse.
Did you expect anything less from Megaverse today? And we see Spooks going down to Cam Sucks TV in the kill feed there. That's another name that we forgot to bring up. He is a vet himself. And now Megaverse is just playing games with his firewall. He's just going to stay out of the action here, charge up any sort of armor. He wants to stay on the outside part of this fight. I say it all the time. If you can stay on the outside, not play monkey in the middle with your opponents, you're going to find that your success is going to be much more consistent. And with 5 Exiles, he is rocking a pretty high damage score as well. He'll be just fine as far as scoring goes. If he can survive longer and get sort of that higher placement, that's just even more points he can get. So he's playing this very smart.
Yeah, and Camsucks does go down there to dock, so now we're just left with 4 people in the circle. You see Megaverse is rotating around the side, is the only one with Stone Shaper left in this top 4, so his mobility is limited. Has an opportunity, hits a nice 32 fireball to the side of the face. And he's just connecting on a lot of these air shots. You love to see it from Megaverse. Maybe we bounce over to a new angle, but forget about it. Megaverse is right back into the action. What am I saying? As he spring steps over the top, hits a 42 with the shockwave, and drops a flame wall in front of him as well. Megaverse just uses his position so well to force his opponent into some awkward angles. This is the key of Stone.
Wow.
Just dealing the damage. Megaverse will not stop with this pressure. One more shot will do it on that opponent, but he just turns his focus. Another person, another fireball, another bit of damage down, as he does take a frost shot to the face as well. And now he's hit. This is the threat of playing against Blizz. Oh my god. We saw it from another angle as he just destroys Megaverse. And now we have a 1v1. Infinite accuracy versus Nasty Blizz. Tempest versus Pyro. This is going to go down.
Definitely. This is a beefy Tempest as well. He's got the recovery on deck, and I don't think he's missed a snipe yet. This is absolutely insane. I think he can land this one right here, and he does. One more will do it for his opponent's armor. And with that Tempest, he's going to be so hard for that Pyromancer to hit. That Pyromancer better hope that he picked a long-range option, because a Tempest is so hard to hit with any kind of fireball. If he finds any speck, any atom of his opponent, he's going to drill it with this Ice Lance. And now it looks like he got away for the moment. He'll be healing up. No shields for Nasty. But that is the shot there. Here's another one on deck. 1, 2, 3. There's another one. He does not miss plays.
He's unstoppable with these shots. He hits another one over the top. Somebody go check this man's client, because he will not stop.
Oh my gosh, the Windspam will clean it up.
Need a bit of wind to finish the kill. Calm it down here, Blizz. Get it done. Infinite accuracy drops, and that is a Tempest win in game 1 from Nasty Blizz. What a performance! From the snipes to the wind spam finish to everything all around. Nasty Blizz just shows up in game 1 here.
Man, I've spoken in the past about how Tempest is a sleeper class, okay? It's always been, especially now with the buffs that it's gotten. I always say you have to play it perfectly if it's going to be strong. I don't think he missed a single shot. I don't think he did. That's the power of Tempest. If you play it perfectly, it does not stop. Except for maybe a Conduit. But no one's playing Conduit out here. He's landing every frost. I did not expect that to be the build coming out here in a competitive event, but my goodness, is he making it work.
And I would love to see a replay of that clip right there. I don't think, as you said, he did not miss a single shot onto infinite accuracy, rolling into that 1v1, and check it out once again. Break it down for us, OSK.
So you see him coming out of the Firefly. I mean, really, there's not much to break down. He just does not miss. Okay, that's the message of this entire clip. He does not miss. He hits that one. That's 3 for 3. And the only thing he really misses, he does miss that one, but the wind spam. He didn't even miss a single wind shear. Okay, like he's not missing. I don't know how many hours he has in Kovacs. I don't know if he's playing CS:GO on the side. I don't know what he's playing, but whatever he's playing, it's working out so well for him. I'm so happy to see it played so well. Oh, what a day we have ahead of us, plays. I'm ready for 5 more games of this.
And you know what's actually funny? We're going to pay a bit of homage to last week. Kep ended our event in a Game 6 pop-off with Tempest, and we start our event today with a pop-off on Tempest. So this is just the same pace of game as we get into qualifier number 2. Remember, if you want to get involved in these element events, you got to join the Discord. There's a couple commands you can run. You can also check out the scoreboard to see how these players are stacking up. You can check how many points Nasty Blizz earned with that performance right there and all the rest of it. But getting into game 2, I want to take a step back, take a deep breath, and calm down here, because there was some very weird circumstances to result in that game. Not by weird, but I just mean Borsalino dropping out early, Kroza getting killed off early. Those are big names that are big threats in the final circle. I don't think we can rely on 6 games straight of Nasty Blizz pop-offs, but I wouldn't be mad about it. We'll see what happens coming into this one, OSK, but give me your thoughts.
It definitely wouldn't be a disappointment, but I think this just reflects how absolutely stacked this qualifier in particular is. I think we have 15 or more veterans out of 25 total contestants. We do have some new names in there, but if you're a new player in this sort of qualifier, I gotta say it might be bad news for you, because this might be the most stacked qualifier that I've seen in a while. Like this, there's just so many good players here. Groza, like you mentioned, he does uncharacteristically go out pretty early. Megaverse did last until the late game, but he dropped out in 4th place, which is a little bit lower than I would have expected in game 1. And now we have Blitz out here. What an absolute improvement from his time in the beta. He is. I honestly did not expect him to be the one to win qualifier number 1. I did not expect that at all, actually. Kalnor is another one that we saw get a little bit higher placement than I expected him to get. So, I mean, it's just so stacked. It's hard to make a prediction because literally you make one mistake and you might not have just one person jump on it. You might have 2 or 3 that are just waiting for that opportunity to seal out an exile. It's going to be difficult for everyone involved.
Yeah, for sure. And somebody I want to give a bit of credit to, because we will talk about the pop-off. He did take the win, but Infinite Accuracy had a solid game to bring himself into a 2nd place with big damage and a couple kills. That is all you can ask for going into a game 1. Of course, we can get some Tempest games like that, but to perform in a 2nd place finish with solid damage and kills, you can't be mad about that. We got to give credit to all competitors as we are about to drop into game 2. Shadow Step already showing its prevalence in these games. We talked about it. The return of Shadow Step is big. I don't think I saw a single dash rune on any of those players. Whether that is RNG or a choice, we cannot be 100% sure, but we do know Shadow Step is back and it's doing some big damage.
Definitely. That's a good point that you bring out. You're right. I didn't see a lot of dash in there. It's a little bit uncharacteristic from these competitive events. Maybe it was RNG. Who knows? Maybe it's just too quick to pick up another rune to make that rune charge shift over. But now we're going to hop right in. See Shidness coming in, one of our contestants here. Looks like it's a pretty slow early game for these few contestants. They'll just be spreading out, getting their loot up, taking it slow. They don't want to get absolutely donked on the head by Blitz again.
Yeah, but as we say, taking it slow, take a quick look at the kill feed. That's 2 kills right off the bat, both of which are with Stone. Camsucks and Megaverse picking up some early drops right there, and that is crucial towards developing your score card. For anybody who may be new to our events, remember that you get points for exiles, damage, and placement. So getting that up on the board early is very, very big. We're looking at Edgar's Zone TTV with that beautiful new skin, got the hat on and everything. Looking for a new angle into this fight, but does not have a rune to take advantage of. Also does have a pretty weak amulet, so Edgar has to be careful pushing this fight, OSK. He's looking at a bit of a topside angle, a bit of an Assassin's Creed pose on the top of the post right there, and nothing gonna happen as we can see.
Man, I wish I had an eagle sound on my soundboard right here. I'd be playing it all day, getting that. Oh, I forgot what those things are called. It just escapes me. But we do see an uncharacteristic player out here drop out early. Kalnor TTV is going to go down to Spooks in an early fight. It's unfortunate for Kalnor because I'm sure that he can do well with his loadout. But we see Megaverse with the dash already. It looks like he's ready to go. Now, keep in mind, he doesn't have a long-range option, so all of his fights are going to have to be up close and personal. But now we see Spooks, the eliminator of Kalnor TTV, getting absolutely jumped on here. 80 HP to his name, and now we have a blind faith. I would imagine that he is getting third party because it looked like that Dragonfire came from behind, and it did. Here we go. His opponent does have some armor. Take it away for us, please.
He literally just matrixed both of those fireballs. Did you see that? That was coming right at his face, and it somehow does not connect. Spooks getting the benefit of the doubt with that one. Escapes with still full HP, no armor to speak of, though. Looks over the top now, gets right in the face, dash to the double flick, onto the blind face. Look at the damage. Drops his own Frost Sorcery, but doesn't quite find the finishing kill. Looking inside now, look at the 30s. One more is going to do it. That is true
Beautiful.
Venom dropping as Spooks picks up his 2nd of the game. Dashes off cooldown here. Remember, he has focused mana without the runic fluency, so he's less mobility, more on the damage side of things as he hits a 10 bomb. Drops a flame wall as well, but not going to connect. Spooks looking for a backside angle, gets the dash with the S key, moving his way to the side. Now look at the pyro mechanics. Doesn't quite hit any of the shots, but you see how he's controlling the area as he looks forward. Is peeling off a little bit here, so getting off of the aggression, Spooks is just going to back up OSK. His opponent doesn't want any of this work.
Definitely, and that was a beautiful job of kiting and peeling off, like you mentioned there. He knows that that's going to be a very variable terrain that he's going in. He's going to have a little bit less. He's going to have a little bit less of a good time trying to land his shot. So good job by Spooks to sort of change the battlefield there. That was absolutely beautiful. And now we're going to hop on to Infinite Accuracy, popped off last game. Let's see if he can do some more. Another rushdown style class with the stone. He does need to be taking his fights in the mid-range to close range. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to be looking to do. Opponent does have a Shadow Step, and it looks like nothing doing so far. He's gonna have to take this pretty slow. He does have his opponent in the middle of the 2 engagements here, so very smart on his part, and now his opponent has to be the one to get on the outside. Beautiful stuff from Infinite to influence it in that way, but he doesn't want to deal with that third party who very well might be on full HP right now.
Yeah, Infinite took a ton of damage on the front side of that fight. You know he does have Thirsty, so it's going to be easy to reset as you're watching right now, but he's got to be careful. As we talked about in Game 1, Infinite Accuracy has a very aggressive game style, and how do you counter an aggressive game style? You run right back in his face with confidence. We saw that get exposed right there as Infinite Accuracy does get the backside of that trade. Now we're going forward. Kroza does pick up a kill as you see in the feed. Megaverse also going to follow that up with the drop onto Staff has 5G. And Infinite Accuracy looking up to the skies. Drops the spring step. Looking over the top of the wall now, but doesn't actually go for any shots. OSK, he is sneaking his way into this fight. Drops a beautiful flame wall, but only 6 damage per tick. Gets himself up now. Spring step off cooldown, but doesn't use it. Infinite Accuracy taking this slow as molasses for sure, OSK.
Definitely, and he found himself in a pretty bad position, but now they're about on equal ground. None of their stones are going to be really effective right here. He needs to reposition or try to use his fire. Now he does have Pyromancer that's going to help out quite a bit. There is a third party, fourth party situation. He needs to get away right now because 3 people are just too much in this competitive event.
Yeah, this counts as a 5th party at this point, as Infinite Accuracy is looking at his 3rd opponent running in off the top. Gets his way out cleanly, does have Thirsty as we mentioned at the start, so he will get a reset, and even finds time to read a quick novel. Infinite Accuracy making sure all of his course readings are completed for the weekend before he pops off here. Kroza, on the other hand, back in this game running Stone Shaper. So he just called me out because I told everybody he's a conduit main, and he's out here on the Stone Shapers. He throws a couple fireballs, looks over the top now, gets one to land, is just sitting in the middle, taking some AoE. This is not ideal as Kroza goes to the chase. Rune off cooldown, you see it bursted there, and he doesn't quite get any damage. Maybe the reason he's running the Stone Shaper is because we are on NA East and he doesn't trust the lightning with higher ping. Not sure 100%, but as we speculate, Kroza is going to keep on pushing. Looking for the fireball, but doesn't see anything. Looks like his opponent got away for the most part. Sees him on the back now, and Kroza will not engage, but look at the amount of people all over. This is what I was expecting from Game 1, but it was much quicker in Game 1. There's still 15 people here, so the chaos is really everywhere. Kroza's just taking so much damage. 24 off the top to his opponent, but he only has 37 with recovery ticking. Dashes over to the top side now, and there's just opponents on every single corner. This is just doomed as he gets over the top. I don't know if he gets out of this one alive.
I think he does. There's too much chaos to really focus down one opponent very, very quickly. But I think that was Blitz that he was running into because we saw his shield and health just get deleted from a nasty frost snipe from the Tempest, the Squall buffed. This isn't him on the Frostborn right here, but that Tempest, you got to keep an eye out for anyone using Windjump because we do know what skin he's running at this point. They are all running Ethereal Assassin. Beautiful skin, I gotta say, from the Proletariat team. Beautiful Stone Slam as well, or Shockwave, my mistake. He's going to try to follow this up. I think he's going to have an easy time of it here because his opponent doesn't seem to really be firing back too effectively. Kroza, just one more fire shot will do it, and there it is. Chaos NY.
You hate to see that from the other angle. Chaos NY gets destroyed by Kroza. I am not going to sugarcoat it. He got murdered as there's 13 people left in the game. Look at the shockwaves coming out from Kroza. Reading the movement of Chaos NY, that is so crucial if you want to pick up kills with Stone against good players. I'm not trying to talk down on Chaos NY. He's a good Spellbreak player, but against Kroza, it is a tough match to say the least. Now we're looking back at our star of the show. It's Blizz, but we're bouncing around. Forget about it. As Cursed X is in a fight of his own. Looks for the Frost Shot, but doesn't quite connect on the top. Gets a Fireball too, but that won't land. Has to stuff it in the face. Hits another, and the Ignite will tick. Such a big difference maker, that damage over time. As Cursed TTV feels it himself. Sorry, no TTV. As he takes a pot and looks for the Thirsty reset. A lot of Thirsty in this game too. A little bit surprising. I thought Recovery was going to be dominant for sure. But nonetheless, Cursed is still in this fight. Sees the lightning on his opponent. Jumps over the top now. Looks for the flick, but doesn't get any of this to go. Does dash away from the boulder, and this is a third party. Cursed is going to get out of this one. OSK for sure.
I don't think so, man. He's on the low ground, and that's going to make it easy for any sort of frost or fire to come in, and we just saw that. Shingy actually getting the kill on the Curse there. That's Blizz's teammate there, but they are now at each other's necks with this this solo environment. Shingy doing a good job of staying on the high ground here. He is walking the Stone Shaper, so that Legendary Stone's going to help him out quite a bit. And now he's looking for any sort of placement he can put his boulder in. He's not going to be able to flight cheese like we always see, but I think he's in a good spot right here. You don't want to take any sort of engagements on this variable terrain, but if you can position yourself to where the zone is closing in on that flat terrain, that's going to be some good stuff for him. Now, this bit of terrain right here is a little bit difficult to land on, as he is finding out, but this head will do just finely. Now, it's really just anything he can do to sort of land his fireballs, because the stone's not going to be working out well for him right here. He does need to get out of this environment. He is in a big disadvantage, and I think that's what he's going to do right here.
Yeah, something I want to point out, though, is he's holding a lot of resources. When you get into these late game situations, honestly, you can win a game just off the fact that you have pots to drink and your opponent doesn't, and then you can go DPS check him. Shingy is in a bit of a position to do so with his HP and armor in the pocket, but he's getting burned down a little bit by this Pyro. Does take a dash over the side, avoids the damage, and gets out of that situation completely. Remember, Stone Shaper is capped at 20 armor for getting your regen, so he's going to have to drink pots as we move over to Cam Sucks on the Pyro, Pyro with the wind offhand. Interesting build to say the least, as he has the dash double stack, Runic Fluency, and Scavenger. Getting over to the top now on the top of this roof. Does not have the usual frost on the side hand, so it's going to be tough to get an angle as he takes some lightning damage from the far. Does use his dash now. I really do not think I agree with this wind in the offhand. I gotta say, OSK, this just does not feel right for the build that he's running.
Yeah, if you want to talk about build synergy, never mind. We'll talk about it here in a second, as he is getting charged down with the lightning. Casper coming out with the conduit build. Of course he does. And now we have 3 exiles to his name right here. The rare few misses that we saw from him just then, I think he'll be okay just sort of levitating off to his higher ground. It's definitely where he wants to be, but he slips off. And this bit of terrain apparently has a ledge right there. That's some beautiful awareness. But he is getting focused down by another Pyromancer. This might be some bad news for him, but I think he'll be okay as long as no one follows up. Looks like he found himself in a safer position, so that is good. Now he'll have all this time to sort of focus down his opponent, but he falls down. That's not what you want to do as a conduit. You don't want to play close range. You want to stay away. I'm not sure if these are just misplays or what this is, but he needs to separate himself, because he is going to get focused down so quickly if he's not careful. One more little bit of damage will do it. Let's see if he can come out of this alive.
Yeah, this is what really shows you that one small positioning error in these competitive lobbies and you will get eliminated. Casper takes one far 2-step over the top wall and takes so much damage in return, and that's going to be the end of his game. Kroza was not the one to start the fight against Casper, but he certainly was the one to finish it and get the kill credit. We have 6 people left in the game as Kroza looks to check the loot, does get a couple more resources. We talked about how important that is, but he gets a bit of flame wall damage too, walks through his own, I believe. As the dash ring comes off cooldown, he is also rocking Runic Fluency, and he takes Casper's purple dash, and now he's got that epic to go. He's going to be rolling around the side. Look at all this AoE control as Kroza looks to maneuver, throws a boulder over the top. It doesn't connect. There is 6 people left, as we mentioned, and Kroza's going to try to look to drop some bombs. We see him jumping right into the fray now. Hits a 44 to the face that drops into the storm. Now his opponent is pushing. Both players are going to get third-partied in this situation, but look at the damage from Kroza. The Fervor with the 1-stack just gives him so much attack speed as he turns just in the second to hit it. 44 left on his opponent, but he just needs to connect on one more. Jumps over now. Dash Rune will come up off of cooldown, and he's going to take a pot. Kroza just plays under no pressure. He's getting all this damage to his face, but he just stays calm in the moment, landing 44 shockwaves to the face, and he's just going for it, looking for another reset. I don't know if he has enough resources to really get this one down, but still, 6 people, nobody died in that exchange, and we're going to see some action as we see the Star Blitz roll in.
Yeah, and keep in mind, he doesn't have any exiles to his name yet, so he is itching for a fight. But we see his teammate Shingy, looks like in a small engagement of his own, he does have the disadvantage here on the height. Never mind, he just got the advantage just now. And this must be Kroza that he's running into right now, judging off the skin and his positioning. And I really hope that's not a damage tick that he just took. Good, it's not. This will be a very even fight here. It looks like Shingy just needs to land one more shot, and there it is. Sorry, I had to swallow there. My mistake. But anyway, he does get the 3rd exile to his name there. Beautiful stuff from Schniggy, by the way. It's Schniggy, not Shingy. We've been saying it wrong this entire time. But looks like he's in a very good spot to reset. Not that he needs to. His health is full, but very nice hiding spot for the late game indeed.
Did you catch that? It looks like the Shockwave rode up on the very top of that pillar and did the damage onto Croza to finish, but now we're right to the fight again. Megaverse hitting back-to-back air shots, but falling down. He's going to be getting pressured from all over as you see the Flame Wall deal the big damage. Megaverse gets over the top. His Thirsty is not going to be enough as Spooks securing the kill with the fire. And now we're on to Schniggy as he jumps over, has the dash rune as well, throws the boulder into the middle of the tornado, but doesn't quite connect. And he is under all sorts of pressures. He's trying to represent Team Nasty. Both, I think, Blitz and Shingy are still in this game, and I cannot get the pronunciation right on that one, but that is all right because he's getting back to the high ground now. This is what you want to do. Position yourself in a right spot and hit the boulder. Spooks goes down due to the bit of a third party, and this is a one to end the game. This is Nasty v Nasty. Who's the king of the Nasty clan as he goes for it? And it is secured by Schniggy, taking that game 2 win, and Team Nasty is just dominating this event, coming out to show us who's the king of the Spellbreak scene right now. What do you think of the ending there?
Let me tell you that Schniggy just landed 2 absolutely like his name, nasty shots. Right before that tornado came up, maybe we can get a quick replay of it. He landed a beautiful fireball into the boulder. Those were both over the head shots that I was really surprised he's able to hit. I don't know if that's luck. I don't know if that's skill, maybe a little bit of both. But look at this. 1 to go. He does miss this next one, but the boulder on the backside is what seals this out. Like, how do you hit that? I can't even hit that no matter how hard I try, no matter how bad my opponent is. I don't know if he's been specifically training that. I don't know if he's working on his conflagration training. I don't know what he's doing, but those are some beautiful shots I was not expecting to see out here. Beautiful
He did a good job of staying calm, though, because if you look at his HP in that moment he connects on the boulder, he was about 2 wind shears from death right there. And you know after watching game 1 that Blizz was going for that angle. He was looking to finish the kill with just a couple more M2 clicks. But nonetheless, that game will go to Schniggy, taking game 2. Team Blizz is dominating, as I mentioned. We are about to get into game 3, and something I want to mention to all the viewers who may be new, the first 3 games are played on NA East, and the next 3 are played on EU. So players like Borsellino and Croza will have a little bit of an advantage once they move over to EU. They are not playing on their native ping right now, so it is a little bit harder, but maybe I'm just making excuses, because right now it is all Team Nasty all day, and they're just dominating here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you love to see it too. And Blitz has been dominating on the Tempest Frost of all things, like we mentioned earlier. And now we see a Stone Shaper showing his face. So that is some absolutely beautiful stuff. These are some new sorts of builds that I didn't really anticipate to do well in these sort of competitive environments. But another name I want to mention, it was my pick to win the whole thing, Megaverse. He's doing really, really well in the damage and exile count. In fact, that last game, I believe he had 6. So we cannot discount that. Even though he's not appearing in like the top 3 finish or the top 2 finish, he is making himself known still. So that is something that we'll need to keep an eye on as we continue throughout this event.
And I would love to stir the pot right now and insert a little bit of a narrative. Tell me if I'm doing too much here, but Borsellino is known as the Stone Shaper legend around this community. But Nasty Schniggy just showed us what Stone Shaper looks like in post-release. Do you think he's taking the crown of the new Stone Shaper king? Am I pushing the bar a little bit too much? I think this is appropriate as we see the new king of Stone Shaper try to make it known. We're going to get into game 3 in a second here. We've seen a good performance from Spooks as well. We must mention that. He had an excellent showing in game 2, and we know he's a mechanical player till the death of him. So this is going to be a close match. Remember that everybody, if you want to see the scores and check on where your favorite player is placing, just hit ! scores in the chat. And thanks again for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate the community coming around for some fun competitive action. Do you got any predictions for game 3 before we jump in?
Well, first, I just want to say again, thank you guys for coming out. It's a beautiful time always, and it's great to have you out. I want to see what Cam Sucks can do. He's another name that's been sort of inching up that is just out. He's just out of the range of one of our top players, I would say. But he is making himself known through his damage and exile count, just like Megaverse. So keep an eye on him. I want to see how he does in this next game. And also keep in mind that for the qualifiers and for the finals, for that matter, we only take the best 4 games out of your 6. So if you do badly here on maybe an off region or if you sort of don't have your best game, then that has potential to be dropped off as long as you do better in your other games. So let's keep that in mind as we roll forward. We haven't yet reached the point where that really matters yet. So let's keep that in mind. And also, going back to your narrative for Borsellino, keep in mind he is an EU player, and we are on NAEs, like you mentioned earlier. So let's wait until that second half of the tournament before we make a determination who is the king of Stone Shaper, because I think he's going to have something to say about it.
I see chat is flaring up a little bit after my narrative, and the job has been done. We are active into game 3 right now as we see Spooks start us off. Back on the Pyro, we are going to move over to EU and see if he stays on Pyro. We sometimes see people switch up the classes, as Spooks did drop into the front side here. He's going to get all of that epic chest loot, and we're back to Blizz, and we're going to move on for some fights here. Staff has 5G, picks up the first honor with the fire kill, and we see the rest of these players just kind of starting us slow, OSK.
Yeah, not really too much doing, but that kill feed is doing pretty well. Kalnor going to go ahead and take out the random in tournament there, and we see it looks like a random engagement there with iFreeze and Airboy. A little bit of action here on Kroza though. Let's see what he can do. He is still running the stone. He does have a wind offhand. I believe that's just RNG to his name right there. Beautiful sorcery float to get to that higher ground of the tower. I'm not sure if the tower is where he wants to stay, but he does see some nice gauntlets there on the back end, but he misses the stairs there. That's gonna be a little bit dangerous for him, as he is against a Pyromancer, and they do very well in that very terrain. Looks like he'll just have to play the high ground up here and land anything he can. That is a full belt. He just realized that, and he's like, no, I got to get out of here. This is not a fight I want to take. I want to get away. I want to get looted up just a little bit more, because an epic to legendary belt isn't something I want to go up against right now, with a third party, no less, as we just found out.
Yeah, Kroos is definitely just going to fold out of this one. Looking at the kill feed, we see Doc took a kill onto Chaos NY. Infinite Accuracy gets a kill of his own, but not too much going on. Still 32 people, as Kroos is going to look for a little bit more loot and supplement his ability to pick a fight here. Rotating around, we see Zayaf looking for a bit of a shot. Trying to get it onto the Shadow Step, but doesn't quite see where the result comes through. Doesn't actually take the pop off, and he's going to take a Spring Step now. Looking for the front side, we see a noodle kill onto Ace Shidness, and that is just unfortunate as the snipe looks to land, but he can't get it. Zayaf needs to land this to try to secure some score for himself, but he's getting pushed. Has to back up, does use his Tornado properly to pop himself up. Spring Step's coming off cooldown, so his vertical mobility is very high. And Megaverse gets a kill once again. He's off to a hot start on that Stone Shaper. Spooks as well picking up a kill into Darkness. And this is starting to roll out quite quickly in Game 3.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think we've seen a game where Spooks or Megaverse has been slow. Spooks just picks up another kill onto a Bon 9. So beautiful stuff from him, getting 2 exiles to start off the day. And now we have Doc. Looks like he's sort of separated from the action here. He does see an opponent here. This might be Megaverse right here. This might be a big one, and Megaverse is going to just slam him down as the shockwave comes in hot. And Megaverse doing pretty well, barely lost any shield off of that as well. He is dominating this.
Yeah, big drop right there. We see more kills coming out, and there's 25 people left in this game. Quickly seen in the chat, we got some boomers v zoomers right here. The narrative continues. Borsa versus Schniggy, as that'll be the rest of this tournament as it plays out. Rosvalius gets a kill into God's Creator with the Tox, and Blizz is still looting up. This is going to be a much slower approach into this game. I feel like some players are starting to go into a low-key start. But Schniggy instead getting right in the face, but nothing going to happen. Both players not actually going to engage. Maybe a bit of a push coming out from his opponent as he backs off, takes the Spring Step, 5 seconds on that rune cooldown as you see, and Harmony's going to help him out as well. OP is in this game, getting a kill onto another player, Black Arrow, and this one is going to go quite slow as we've been talking about. He is still getting pushed though. Schniggy cannot shake this man off of him as he throws a boulder but gets Spring Stepped on. His own cooldown is up soon as he takes over the side, and there's all sorts of fights going down. Now he's getting pushed, but a nice quick break onto his opponent's armor, and Schniggy will reposition. Boulder off cooldown, that is a crucial drop right there as he gets around the corner. He's running straight into the storm though. This is not ideal, as Megaverse also gets a kill with the Toxic.
Yeah, and I think that was the third party that he got the kill off to. And I want to comment a little bit on Megaverse's build right here. He's running the Toxic Stone, not really something that we call optimal, but we do keep in mind that corrosion off the Toxic is going to give him some tracking ability onto his opponent, as well as just melt down the shield faster. Maybe he's going to play that into his sort of mid-range engagements when he can follow up with the Stone. It's very smart what he's doing. And Blizz, we see, gets a kill with the Frost, still going on that Tempest Frost build. So great to see that he's sticking with it here. We see Airbender, looks like just taking a quick pot, playing on the outside part of this fight. It's beautiful stuff. Doesn't land any sort of shot, but he does have the tools to do it. Those commons are not going to help him, though, so I hope he doesn't get punished too hard for it.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that Airbender is not running Tempest, but that's all right. As he pushes forward, does have the common Spring Step, really long cooldown, does upgrade it right there with the green, and now he's looking for his shot. Doesn't quite connect it. He's not taking that time to really line it up, I don't think. The common fire is not doing him any favors either as he looks to push forward. This could be a big opportunity for him if he can land some air shots, though. Oh, the first one just off the front.
Oh, no.
Can't quite connect, and none of it will go. There it is. But it was only 25 damage due to the short charge. Now Airbender getting up in the front, and this is just a long chase for nothing. Airbender has to reposition, and maybe we should switch the camera angle on to get another front side fight. This one is going slow.
Yeah, definitely, and it's all because he can't land his shots here, and it's unfortunate to see. When you're running anything with a fireball, you need to be able to hit those mid-air shots, or you're not going to be doing too well with that element. Maybe you switch up a little bit in the next game. I'm not sure what you want to do, but Lipsy right here, not part of the tournament, I don't believe, but he is finding a little bit of action. My mistake. He is actually a part of the tournament, as I am told here. He is playing the barrel game here, so that's a little interesting to see. Hopefully, no one on the back side. And it looks like he is playing that rush down sort of class, so he needs to be able to get up close and personal. We're going to switch off right here. Just kidding. We are not. He does find some action pretty quickly. If he can rush in and get a little Dragonfire action going on a third party, he does have an opportunity. But it looks like nothing doing so far, as he'll just play it safe, and we'll hop on over to Croza.
Yeah, all sorts of action also happening in the kill feed, so keep track of that. Infinite Accuracy, Spooks, and Blizz all picking up kills across the board, but into the fight now. Croza is dropping some stone, none of it really quite connecting as he's looking to peel out. Looking at his loot here, he has resources, but it's all HP, no armor in his pocket, so you know he's kind of stuck at that 20 level due to the Stone Shaper passive, but look at the 42. He weaves it through the ground, jumps out of the way of the Toxic. Only the second one will land, so Corrosion does a little bit of dirty to him, but not enough now. Looking at another fight, Croza has no fear pushing forward as he watches Blizz get a kill onto Kalnor, and he's going to try to follow it up. Throws the boulder over the top, but the Tempest is just too elusive. Blizz really showing up here as Croza just barely dodges out of the way of the incoming snipe. Nice movement from Croza. You see the crouch work coming through, plus the dash, and he is going to take one of his health potions. Megaverse gets a double kill, though. Keep in mind, as we get through here, there's 11 people left. This game shrunk, and it shrunk quickly. Croza spots another player and hits the boulder into the fireball back-to-back. That is such a devastating combo with the Stone Shaper. Now he gets over to the front, now throws a firewall of his own. Doesn't quite connect on anything. The rune is off cooldown. Burns one, keeps the second, but the Toxic is right in his face. Burns the second to go on the S key backwards, but Croza's just getting outmaneuvered by the Toxicologist, and this is one of the problems with Stone Shapers sometimes, is when you play against the classes with inherent mobility, you gotta try to make it work, because Croza's doing his best. Throws the boulder through the firewall, it doesn't connect, and shoots some air shots for consolidation. Again, no kills have happened since the double kill from Megaverse, and this is just a lot of positioning. Drops a quick shockwave, doesn't get it, misses the air shot as well, and now Croza's just trying to get this done, but it's not happening, OSK.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too slow, and that was actually very, very nice of him to go ahead and put down that firewall earlier that blocked the Toxic shot. Might have actually been his doing there, or been his death. And we're gonna switch angles here, maybe get another angle in the fight here, maybe a third party coming in. Zayaf looks like he's gonna go ahead and switch off and heal up there. And we see not OP, not part of the tournament, but very big streamer indeed. He finds himself in the middle of the action here. Rosevalius looks like he was the Toxicologist. He wasn't able to seal out that kill on the Croza, and now he has no armor, so he needs to be very, very careful. One more shot will kill him, and that's gonna be it.
Croza just read him like a short book, like a small novel. Croza just unfolded out onto Rosevalius and drops him with the DF finish. I was going to say he has no armor and he also has no fear, but then he got stuffed by Croza in about 3 shots, and that's going to be the end of his game. Croza's off to a great start here in Game 3, or shall I say maybe a finish, as we're just down to 9 people. After this, we do have a halftime, so everybody will get a quick break as well to refresh. But Zayaf trying to take a shot, doesn't quite go for it. Now we're looking back at OP as he looks to slam with that Tempest Stone build. Quite an odd one for the choice, but takes a dash rune. He's getting spammed with the wind from outside the storm. This is looking like the end of his game. Gets another cooldown, but Megaverse times it nicely onto the ground, does get the kill. Now he's moving off with Legendary Stone Shaper, cancels his boulder in the air right there, looking for a nether drop, sees that he's fighting a Tempest, so has to be careful with how he paces this fight. Stone Shaper versus Tempest is always a very awkward engagement, as he does hit a beautiful air shot into a 35 boulder in the air. Megaverse showing his dominance on the Stone Shaper as he looks for a nether flick. Not going to quite get it here, but this is his chance. Look at him getting... Oh, he connects it. I don't know what to say about that one as he lands it on the perfect timing. We saw that one lining up. And Megaverse now just going to get a reset. This is some great play, dealing big damage onto a Tempest, but not pushing far enough to get exposed by a third party. And Megaverse has 8 kills, ladies and gentlemen. 8 kills. That is a crazy start here into this game 3.
Definitely. I just want to point out how impressive it was. Those are all prediction shots that Megaverse has to land, and that's even harder given that his opponent is a Tempest and he can move out of the way at any given time. Megaverse is going to opt to stay out of the chaos here. He just wants to land any cheeky boulders he can, I would imagine. He does go ahead and follow off of his dominant position there, and we see Nasty Blitz trying to get sniped of his own right here. Let's see if he can get to this tower right here. Maybe get on top. Looks like he'll opt to separate. Let's get to some more action. Schniggy, on the other hand, his teammate looks like might find an exile here pretty soon, but he's about to get exiled himself as his opponent is going to flight dash in. If he can land any sort of fireball, he'll be in a much better spot, but it looks like he's going to turn it around just a little bit. This might be a chaotic final circle. This is going to be very, very volatile.
Yeah, great job from Schniggy to just avoid the W key pressure. I hope all the viewers took notes there as he just S key dashes backwards, lands a couple shockwaves over onto the incoming Pyro, and that's going to be the death of infinite accuracy and the 10th kill for Megaverse. Remember, his 8th was onto OP, his 9th was onto TTV armor, and that is 10 onto infinite accuracy. This might be one of the craziest pop-offs in this Game 3 matchup. Flipsy doing some work of his own, landing a couple fireballs, nice shot over the top to land a connection, hits a nether air shot, and that will do the ignite. Conflag now burned as well, but Flipsy doesn't get the benefit of the AoE. Now sliding back into this, he shoots the wall, does some big damage to himself. That is a very critical error, as he also dashes over the side. 6 people left in this game, and this one's going to fold in quickly as 2 boulders connect back to back. Flipsy's down to just 64 with recovery ticking and a pot in his mouth. Lands a 10 shot off the conflag, but not quite enough. Doesn't ignite the DF in time, and now Flipsy is just on the ground crawling, getting double shotted by 2 fireballs, but the recovery's doing him some big work. Misses both boulders from the opponent, so now Flipsy is just going to keep on rolling. Wow, this is just too much for him as the third party folds out as well. Flipsy's game should be over by all accounts as he jumps through in the face. Don't know how that DF didn't do damage. That looked a little bit fishy as Flipsy still continues this fight. I don't know how he got out of this one, and he might actually get a reset.
Nope.
Never mind, Blitz. The Reaper takes your life, sir. That is 4 kills for the Tempest once again. He's popping off in Game 3.
Absolutely, and we saw Megaverse just try to rush him down. I think on that third party it was Megaverse's fireball that ignited, so that's why you didn't see the damage take. Schniggy is going to go ahead and take out Croza, so now we have a 4-person final circle coming in. Megaverse, never mind, is going to take out Zayev. Beautiful stuff from him. That's 11 exiles on the day, and Schniggy going to find any sort of way to get that final bit of armor that he needs for this final engagement. It is 2 Stone Shapers and 1 Tempest, and if Blitz can land his shots, he might take the entire thing. Let's see how it plays out here as Schniggy does find his opponent, or he does find his opportunity rather, to go ahead and get that armor off, and Megaverse and Schniggy are gonna have a hard time with this high flying mobility, as it were.
Yeah, once again, Team Nasty is repping the squad in the end of this game. This is 2 Nasties and 1 Megaverse as we get through to the end here. Throws a boulder over the top, but Schniggy does not connect. Now looking to try to get a crucial shot. Somehow gets a 3 damage onto his fellow teammate, but it doesn't finish the kill. And now he's looking to finish off onto Megaverse. Only one more is going to do it. There it is. Now we got another 1v1. Nasty v Nasty taking the throne. Last time Schniggy took it, but looks like Blizz is looking for his revenge. Hits an air shot from deep with the frost falling down, and he's looking for another. Blizz is just not missing as Schniggy needs to secure 1 more, but the wingspan will do it. The Tempest takes Game 3. That's 2 wins for Blizz and 1 win for Schniggy in Game 2. Team Nasty continues their dominance of this qualifier number 2, and I have to say I am absolutely shocked, OSK. This is a groundbreaking start for Team Nasty on all accounts.
I just want to point out, maybe we were just completely wrong. They weren't even in our conversation at the beginning of this entire event. And now we see them just absolutely dominating, at least in the placement sort of category. Megaverse, on the other hand, did get 11 exiles with a lot of damage, I would imagine. So we have to keep that in mind as well. He might be higher in our total tournament placements. But as far as finishing the game, Blitz and Schniggy are doing absolutely wonderful. And they're a team from back in beta that was very middle of the road. You would very, very rarely see them in the top of our conversations here. But now that they've improved, I don't know what they've done to sort of get this thing rolling or what they're doing, but whatever they're doing is working, is absolutely working. They are dominating the placements. I'm very, very happy to see it.
And one more thing to point out was Megaverse, although coming in third behind Team Nasty, he just dropped an 11 bomb in that game 3, excuse me. We are going to get to a halftime break in just a second, but just to recap that game a little bit more, Team Nasty is going crazy through to these games. We are going to take a quick break, and after that, it'll go to EU. So maybe they're going to have to adjust their play styles. We know that playing Frost on a bit of a higher ping can be difficult, so we'll see if Blizz can adjust. If he can maybe just know how to hit his shots with higher ping, that could really solidify his start here. We got 3 more games to go. We're going to take a break, and I want to remind you guys that all subs and donations to the Element Twitch channel go 100% to supporting the events and their prize pools. All of that money goes towards these community events with the competitive scene, so we appreciate all your support. We appreciate your viewership and all the love. So we are going to quickly take a break. It should be about 10 minutes. Players, casters, and everybody can take a just step back, absorb the information, absorb everything you just saw, check the scores with exclamation mark scores, and we will be right back in about 10 minutes. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. So you just don't have the tools early to deal damage and pick up 3 to 4 kills off your first 2 rotations. But this is a difference in opinion between casters, and we'll see which one Croza follows up with, because he had a showing in Game 4, and I have 100% faith in him to pop off once again. The drop will be coming up just in a second here. We will be diving headfirst into Fracture, and the game has started, OSK. Let's see Game 5. Remember, this is on EU, first 3 NA East, last 3 EU. And Doc W gets us started off with an early kill, getting right back to Croza now. Talking about that early conduit. Give me that first one. A double kill might come out here. Oh my God.
You were saying plays? You were saying his potential energy is an absolute menace. And now he has the epic. This is a beautiful time. This is exactly what I was talking about, okay? This is exactly what I was talking about. If he can tighten up his aim like he is right there, he's going to drop double digits. And I don't think there's any argument against it at this point. You better shut your mouth, because my man Croza is out here to eat.
Yeah, that was quite a caster's curse, just shoving it right in my face right there, flipping my narrative, and Croza drops too early. Infinite accuracy, once again, reading up his scrolls. Megaverse getting his rotation as well. Already has the epic stone, so that's going to be huge for Megaverse, as Cam Sucks TV picks up a kill onto D4 Rain. And this game is moving quite slow. 35 people still left in this game. We're used to seeing some insanely fast drops, as Spooks is in this game as well, has the Shadow Step. That seems to be a common rune choice of his between Shadow Step and Dash. That's quite common with a lot of these players going for heavy combat. Nasty Schniggy as well, looking for, I think he hears something, a little bit suspicious there. Look at him, definitely got his ears out first as he sees. Drops a little bit of DOT with the Flame Wall, so he will have a small track on his opponent. But nonetheless, Schniggy does not want any of this work. I think he knows his belt situation is just unfavorable as he continues to back up, using some nice rotations to keep his armor up. Croza gets a kill on the kill feed, so that's probably the 3rd of the game for him right there. Huge start for Croza, shutting me up live on the internet right now, as Nasty Schniggy also backs up with the S key. I think he will get out of this one just fine.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a good job of kiting here. And he has the tools to do it as well. That epic dash is going to do so well. Has the 4 seconds on the cooldown, so absolutely great tool to go ahead and do that here. Opting to not run for the Runic Fluency, instead rocking the high exile count build here with Scavenger. He's going to be relying on finishing out fights very quickly. Unfortunately, we have a Fracture death in the kill feed there with Kenichiwa. Not a part of the tournament, thankfully, but still something to point out there. We're going to go ahead and hop on over and see if we can find any more action in the early game. Maybe we've already transitioned into the mid-game lull. I'm not quite sure, but there's another Fracture death for your troubles right there. So I'm not quite sure what's going on the EU side of things, but I would hope that we can tighten it up amongst the public players around here.
Yeah, a couple fractured S. Maybe they saw the names in the kill feed. Maybe they saw Croza's name and they said, forget about it. I'm out of here. This is not worth my time. Run it down the fracture. And now we see Staff has 5G in a fight of his own. Opponent has Fortitude, which is interesting, but Staff has 5G is just doing a poor job of getting off the ground. Takes a massive stone slam, but has a stone to return. Hits a shot out, but doesn't connect on it. Infinite Accuracy does finish a kill onto Ace Shidness, and we are going to keep on bouncing around for some more perspective. Cyber Wolf just taking his sweet time making a decision. And Shakira, love the name right there, is just going to get bounced off of. No action happening so far. This is a much slower approach in Game 5 for sure.
Yeah, let me show you something. You see that in the kill feed in the top left, how Kalnor just exiled Megaverse? That's absolutely huge. I think Kalnor's having a bigger game on his off region than he is on his native. He's doing much better on EU than he actually is on NA. That's actually insane. But now we see Nonari in a little engagement of himself, definitely using the flight to get the high ground there. Nice choice. And now I wish that he would land his shots. His micro needs a little bit of work here because he is getting absolutely bursted down. We see him already down to the half HP here. And I'm not sure what his thought process is during this fight, but I would imagine you want to stay on the high ground like he is right there. Get on the outside part of it. Not be in all the action, but he is going to get bursted down by Croza, who right now already has 5 exiles, and I'm telling you, this is his moment to go ahead and get double digits this game. I'm sticking by it, and I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, you may have just made a crazy good prediction right there. Croza already has 5 kills to his name. We all know how talented this kid is at the game, but he's really showing it in a public arena right now to all of you at home watching. Something else as well is he sees a Frost Lance come out of his way. He doesn't actually take any damage though, and now he has an opportunity to push this fight. Dashreen is double stacked as he looks forward, tries to get one more little lightning zap, and look at the damage. Beautiful tracking from Croza, following that man down. One thing I quickly wanted to point out about the last camera angle we saw was how cool it is to watch a fight happen from a different angle. For example, we saw Croza get a kill from the perspective of the person he killed. I love that because it shows the viewers at home how hard it is to deal with Croza, as he's showing you guys once again.
Yep,
he just drops Kalnor. Good night, good night, as he goes for another kill, but it does get taken by Schniggy, and now Shakira does get exiled through that third party, and Croza's in trouble. Schniggy is chasing him down with that W key Stone Shaper, avoids the boulder thanks to Croza's quick movement, does switch to his teleport. You see how handy that is, but Schniggy does spot you, sees you. Oh, sneaky moves from Croza with the crouch to avoid the angle. Blizz is going to get a kill into Ayodur, but the other nasty teammate looks like he just missed out on a kill onto Croza.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the confidence from Croza. He knows he threw his opponent off. He knows he has a free opportunity to go ahead and get the armor off. He is so smart. He went ahead and got the quick teleport off to a different angle than what it might have initially looked at. But now we're in the middle of a fight with infinite accuracy. Let's see just how accurate he is, as he does miss getting hit by the lightning strike, and now he's going straight in. If he closes up the distance, I think he can take this pretty easily, but he's staying very, very far away. He needs to be able to get that Firefly in. I'm not sure what his hesitation's for. He has him dead to rights. If he lands 2 more fireballs, then he wins this easily. Instead, his opponent has a chance to go ahead and get his shield off. That's going to really, really... Oh my goodness, that's just a missed opportunity in my mind, but let's see how this fight plays out.
And it's even more egregious because he's running Scavenger, so he has the opportunity to push a fight aggressively, and he has a bit of leeway. If he does finish the kill, a triple stacked Scavenger, I believe, gives you 40 armor and 40 HP. That's 80 active health for you to fight with through armor and HP, as we see Airbender get a kill with the fire onto Lionox. The kills are coming down as well as Camsuck secures one onto Flipsy, and Infinite Accuracy will look to peel out of this fight. Running the DF build with Pyro, got the Harmony Scav Thirsty. Interesting build for sure, considering the prevalence of 222, but his opponent is full HP. His Infinite Accuracy is doing some chunks. Gets another fireball at his feet for 25, jumps over the top. Remember, Infinite Accuracy has a Common Fire, so the damage is just not quite what you expect. Hits another one, though, right to the dome piece. Tries to finish off another kill, but just avoiding the stone. Infinite Accuracy, although he started off slow, is doing a good job of keeping his feet moving and avoiding incoming shots. Nasty Blizz does get a kill onto Cursed X in the kill feed. You see that right there as Infinite Accuracy also going for another pot. This fight is very, very compounded. Tons of different angles coming in as all sorts of people are participating in the fight. This is another angle. This is Spooks from deep who kind of sees the action but has not engaged on it. And we see Schniggy exile himself with the fire. I would love to know the story, but I'm sure he's glad that we didn't see it, OSK.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the curse of combust, like we've seen in the past here. You get so close to your opponent that you're firing your fireball, and the fight gets so close that maybe you have 10 HP left, and then you blow up yourself. That's unfortunate for him. But now we see Spooks going into a third-party situation, possibly 4, as he does have a lightning, so he's able to land some free damage, just upping his score if he so chooses. But he's going to opt to go on the full dive on this opponent right here. He has the tools to do it. His armor gets all melted off, but if he lands this beautiful firewall that he has in the tank still, he can Firefly in, get a quick exile off, but he's going to opt not to do it to avoid getting third-partied himself by the other contestant. So he's going to go ahead and kite out, maybe find a good spot to get his armor up. A little bit of lag there on the stream, but that's fine. Yeah, everyone's playing so passively. Not really sure what the passive play is from, but maybe it's being off region, maybe it's not having the right rarity that you want. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but there's a plethora of opportunity to get some quick exiles out, especially like we saw earlier with the scavenging. I'm not quite sure why you're not pulling the trigger.
One thing I like to try to think about with that angle, when I think about players playing very passive, I think it can also come down to the confidence, because maybe they believe I don't need to really jump in on this risky third party. Maybe they really trust their mechanics. They're just saying, if I can bring myself to a top 6 placement, I will get my damage, I will get my work, I will get there. So maybe they're just betting on themselves a little bit, as CamSucks TV is getting pressed. See some lightning coming from one angle and a boulder from another. CamSucks now has to make a decision. Do I defend, do I fight, or do I run? Throws out the side now. It looks like he chose to defend. Misses the boulder by connecting it onto a pillar in front. Dashes off cooldown now, has it up. Oh, but he just walks into that sorcery. He's so careless. As now he's going to get jumped over the top. Croza does finish a kill onto Airbender in the kill feed. And CamSucks now knows he's at least not fighting Croza, so he has that going for him as he jumps over the top side, missing more and more air shots. This is just unfortunate to say the least. He can tell his opponent's going to jump onto him now, saw the shadow step, and is taking a risky pot over the side. If he gets caught in this position, I think his game is over, but he actually gets away with it. Now he's going to stand back up, get a couple more resources as we bounce around and try to find an active fight. Look at Borsalino pushing on to another team of 2. Got that 2-2-2 build with the double shadow step on Leggy, so he is going to be a threat to say the least. Connects a huge boulder through the air. Shadow step off cooldown, uses one to avoid the sorcery very cleanly. Watches 2 more boulders come in, so Borsalino is definitely spectating the whole field here, making a decision. Sees over the top now, drops a shockwave of his own, doesn't connect on anything. More boulders coming in. This is a very interesting perspective from Borsalino, as he's just dealing damage off the side, trying to not pick up too much attention. Seeing him rotate now, shadow step off cooldown, burns 1. You see that Borsalino always keeps 1 shadow step charge in his pocket. He rarely uses both. This is something that new players need to watch when you're looking at a great player. He only burns both shadow step charges when absolutely necessary, like that, to get out of a sorcery. And now look at Borsalino moving backwards again. He's going to wait for his cooldowns. Look at the movement! I got to point that out right there. Look at the movement. Avoids the boulder with the shockwave over the top into the high ground. OSK, take it away before I have a heart attack over this movement.
Man, like my mother always said, you want to keep one for convenience and one for emergencies, and that's exactly what Borsalino is doing right here. He's able to move around so efficiently, especially with that shadow step having the 7 seconds on the cooldown here. He's able to just get out of the way right here. He is doing very, very good job of staying distant. He's actually out of the range of that shockwave, oddly enough. I'm not. He knows that he doesn't really have a good opportunity to go in with his stone because everyone's kind of playing the air game around that tower, so he's just being patient and waiting for someone to misstep. Unfortunately, in this competitive environment, there are barely any missteps. But just like I said, Croza, double digits. I think I'm going to see it right here.
I think we lock the camera on Croza right now. I think we try to see this bomb. We did miss out on a couple of Mega versus kills before his 10 bomb, so let's make up for our mistakes and watch Croza jumping over the top now. Does take the S key dash, looks for another fireball, misses over the top as well. You see he had a triple kill before this in the kill feed, but he's getting pressed. Shadow step, dash backwards with the S key once again, avoiding a bit of incoming damage, but now switching to teleport. Day to run it, and he's running it beautifully. Just barely dodges out of the way of that incoming shockwave, but the boulder as well dodging through. Croza just so quick with the flip, making sure you cannot touch him without paying a price. There's still 6 people left in this game. If Kroza drops a 14 bomb, I might just have to move countries and never watch Spellbreak again, because this would be the peak. He throws a nether sorcery, but doesn't quite connect too much other than 1 tick of damage. Sees the boulder, avoids it slightly, and this is going to be a protracted fight to get this one down. Kroza doing a great job of positioning though, OSK.
Yeah, and you're seeing absolutely optimal use of the rune swap mechanic that Conduit allows. He's able to just quickly go ahead and put down that sorcery, swap runes, get the teleport off, and then immediately switches back to get that cooldown on the dash, the very, very short cooldown already built back up. And now you see him positioning out of the immediate fight, and he just wants to get the free shot. As we see, he's going straight in. Unfortunately, the server is going to go down on our end here.
Oh my goodness. The first spectator bug of post-release, ladies and gentlemen. For anybody who was with us in closed beta, you will remember some of the moments here. Spectator has its issues, and there is nothing we can do but try to rock with it. I apologize, as the end of that game will not be captured live. We will get you guys the results and take it back. Hopefully, we will see exactly what happens on a replay or something of that sort, but nonetheless, that is an unfortunate result. Not sure exactly, because it looks like the stream is also having its issues, so I'm not sure if it's just Spellbreak or if there's a bigger problem. But nonetheless, let's quickly break down what we did see, try to salvage what we got, and hopefully the stream pops back up and you guys can catch up with us. No, it is not.
Unfortunate. Well, we were just seeing Kroza pop off there. I think that's easy to say. Kroza is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. I hope the servers are still back up on his end. Hopefully it was just us that got booted out. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the bigger picture of things. Maybe we have another ISP DDoS. Who knows, man? But Kroza absolutely popping off. I think that if he was canceled out of that game, he definitely would have had double digits. That's just unfortunate. I hope that everyone on the EU side is still able to play this out and get the results back into our scores. It would be really unfortunate if we had to replay that entire game, because, I mean, it would just steal everything that everyone had worked up to that point. So that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
I'm 90%
great
sure
stuff.
that they will not have to replay the game. I'm looking at it off of a delay. I'm not sure if it's still going to go down here. I wonder if it was an internet issue or something of the sort with the production. But nonetheless, we are going to just try to see what happens here in the results. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you got to remember we are trying our best here to get through. There it is. I just saw it on the delay. So the Spellbreak server did go down, and we are going to get into the next game after. We will not have to replay it, because I believe they already played it offline. So we are going to just quickly take a second here and get into Game 6. Unfortunate result, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, let's see. I have this on my other monitor, so we do have some results coming in. It looks like Kroza. Let's see what we have going on here. I think they're still updating scores at the moment, so we'll give that a little bit of time. We'll see what exactly is going on with that, but definitely out of the four of the 6 games that are counted, I think Kroza can definitely hang his hat on this one, especially with the damage he already had. We also saw some good stuff from Borsellino, definitely playing for placement in that one. Wasn't able to really get much going, but still good stuff to him. And of course, we have to talk about Kalinor absolutely dominating out here on the EU side of things, as opposed to the NA, which is his native region. So good stuff to him. Goes out a little bit early in that game, but we're definitely seeing everything come together, I would think.
Yeah, definitely a massive F in the chat for that one, ladies and gentlemen. Unlucky to say the very, very least, but we're going to get you guys into Game 6. And again, I deeply apologize for that interruption on the game. That is brutal that we didn't get to see live the end of the action, but it looks like Borsa won the game is what the results are coming back looking like. Seems like it came down to Kroza Borsa into a last final fight. Again, I should probably not be dangling it over your head and talking about it without showing it, but nonetheless, that is the results, and we are going to get into Game 6. Thanks again for sticking with us and understanding the technical issues we just went through. We'll see if you got any predictions for Game 6. Do you think Borsa can back it up with another win and potentially bring his score into something favorable for these qualifiers?
Whether or not I think he can do it, I think he needs to if he wants to qualify for finals. This is an absolutely, like we said, stacked qualifier. He absolutely has to do some sort of damage. I know he can do it. It's just whether he gets the opportunity to. And we saw kind of in the middle of that late game scenario how he was looking to third party, a situation where people were keeping their movement up in the aerial side of things, but they were also hovering around a tower, and that's not really great for Stone Shapers. And we know how comfortable he is on his main hand gauntlet. not really firing any shots on his offhand. So I hope that he gets more opportunities. It's unfortunate that he found himself in the situation that he was, but the placement coming in, I will point out that he did get first place on 1 exile and 642 damage. So the 1 exile they did get was the most important one. And Kroza actually did not get double digits. He ended up in 5th place, 9 exiles, over 1,800 damage. Great stuff for his score, but man, I really wanted to see those double digits.
Yeah, but something to pay attention to is that's a back-to-back pop-off from Kroza. If Kroza hits a 3rd game in a row at a very high score count, remember that only 4 games count. So Kroza still will end up with a massive score. I think this event could really be one of the closest we've seen from a qualifier. If you guys just want to hit exclamation mark scores, you can check exactly what we're looking at when we talk about scores, when we talk about damage numbers. It is the same graph, so you guys can all get the same idea that we are looking at. Once again, we are looking into Game 6, and we are going to pray for some internet to stay connected. No server issues, no nothing. And we're going to try to finish this event off strong. Once again, it's my deepest apologies that one had to get pushed, but it happens, and we're going to roll with it. Thinking of predictions going forward, Nasty has had some huge games. It hasn't quite shown up on EU. It's a big difference playing across region. I think in a Game 6, they might have already taken that kind of chilled out attitude. Once you popped off a couple games, you start slowing down. So we'll see if they can keep up the energy. But nonetheless, I want to see Spooks come out with some aggression here. This is a big, crucial game for Spooks in Game 6.
Yeah, he did have a decent placement, 7th place in that last game. So I do expect Spooks to kind of drop some exiles this time. He had 536 damage with no exiles to show for it. So unfortunate for that, but I think he definitely can do well. In terms of Nasty, though, Blitz, who we've been keeping an eye on, actually got 4th place that time, 5 exiles, and almost 1,200 damage. So he is still showing up on the EU side of things. It's good to see. Now we just need to see if he does the same for Game 6. And regardless, I think he made enough of a name for himself in the other games on NA that the 4 games that do count will definitely do him some good. So let's see if we can get some similar results for some other contestants. We're going to see Kalnor just drop down into Bogmore of all places, and he will be looting up with a nice rune, invisibility. You love to see it. Nobody will see him, though.
Yeah, he's going to be nice and sneaky out there. I mean, I got to say, though, Invis with Pyro is probably one of the weakest combinations out of all of them. And now we see lol, you so bad easy. I think this might be my favorite username I've ever seen in Spellbreak, as he looks to secure a kill. Stone slamming off the bottom now, though. Lol, you so bad easy. Looking to get a nice kill if he can. Noodles are coming out. That looks like spaghetti from what I can tell as he hits a 35 and finishes the kill onto Lloyd Huge. And now he gets another person pushing him. So lol, you so bad easy. He's got to take this one slow as we see all sorts of kills unfold. 35 people left in the game. Still calm and stone for our friend lol, you so bad easy. As he watches more explosions come down. The fireballs are coming in, but he doesn't get touched. Takes a quick Featherfall, and now you know it's Featherfall versus Shadow Step. Not a favorable matchup for the Stone Shaper, as Airbender gets a kill onto Breadman, has LTE, and more action unfolds right in front of our eyes. Featherfall comes off cooldown and is used by lol, you so bad easy. Nice Frost Sorcery, but an even better Lightning Sorcery to follow it up. And the CCs kind of cancel each other out as he just whips a Frost Lance and is in an exposed position now. Stone Shaper just gets beat sometimes by the Conduit with the Shadow Step, but never mind. That is a finish off onto Casper. He got too sloppy as lol, you so bad easy finishes the kill. Also, I apologize. That was a Pyro, not a Conduit. So that is Stone Shaper versus Pyro.
Yeah, and that was actually very, very awkward of an engagement there. Nice shot off the Frost. Just absolutely making everyone feel bad about themselves. You so bad easy, absolutely destroying out here with that. Now I was going to say the Frost shot that he was trying to land on Casper was probably one of the more awkward positional errors that I've ever seen in Spellbreak. He falls down from the Featherfall, jumps on his head, gets separated by the firewall, and just not able to connect. So unfortunate for him, but we do see in the kill feed that Borsalino is coming through with an exile onto Chaos NY and Schniggy going on to Certix. So let's see how Camsucks can do it on this side of things. He is positioning himself quite well with the Stone Shaper. No long range option, so he will have to get closer, kind of kite his way through this line of sight that he needs to get through. Use those trees, use the terrain, either do that or completely separate out, because there's no way you win that engagement without any sort of line of sight tools.
Yeah, definitely. But Cam Sucks, look at his items. He's really racked up in this early stages of the game. He's actually ready to go to a fight if he can pick it. Nasty Schniggy does get a kill onto 30X with the fireball. You mentioned the kill from Borsalino, which dropped onto Chaos and Y. And now we see Cam Sucks looking to make a push into this fight. He might be able to make a difference. And he's going to come through to the front here. Got that blue dash as well. Looking pretty clean. I got to say, Cam Sucks definitely looted up and ready to go. Decides he wants to read the scroll. He's making up his mind. Should I read before my next lecture? No, I'm not going to do it. Forget about it. Jumps over, hits a 39 damage straight to flesh onto Cam Sucks. And now he's looking to hit the air shot. You know how crucial it is as a Stone Shaper that you hit those air shots. That is how you secure kills in these competitive environments. But he just eats one to the face like a buffet dinner. And Cam Sucks is now trying to push forward, throwing down the shockwaves, but it's just not going to connect. Getting broken up by the top of the building. And now Cam Sucks is still pushing forward. This is that concrete W key gameplay that I love to see. Our friend Lol You So Bad Easy dies or gets a kill. I apologize. And now Cam Sucks is the one getting pushed. Dashes forward over the top. Does have Boulder off cooldown. Haven't seen any effective uses of the Boulder. But Cam Sucks is just making it rain onto his opponents now. OSK, this has been one of the weirdest fights I've watched so far in today's event. Cam Sucks is going to come out on top.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the sad truth of Stone Shaper, how much you have to rely on your offhand gauntlet as opposed to the main one. He's not opting to use the fireball very, very often, but he is getting sniped down. One more good snipe would have done it if he would have pulled the trigger, but now Cam Sucks finds himself separated out, and hopefully he can get the re-engage on this man. This is Tempest. I believe that this might be Blitz that he's going up against here. Nice air fireball there, but if Blitz has any sort of line of sight of this man, he is absolutely going to get sniped for his life. So he needs to play this very, very carefully, making good use of the house here. There's really no way for Blitz to get in, but he does separate himself out. The rare dodge coming out from Cam Sucks. Oh, this is so stressful, and he's right on his tail.
This feels like I'm watching a full picture movie right now. How long has this fight been going on? I cannot believe it. I think we just bounce over this. I'm done with watching this fight. I'm sorry. I'm gone out of this one. Borsalino and Croza are around the map picking up kills, and I gotta just move on. Nasty Schniggy now throwing a deep boulder. Doesn't quite connect it, though. Chasing through, sees the teleport come out. That could be Croza, considering we've seen Croza with the TP dash switch all day so far on the EU servers. Now jumping over the top, Schniggy tries to get a quick shockwave down. Throws the boulder, doesn't connect. Okay. Air shot. Schniggy just playing no games as he gets over to the front side, hits another banger. 36 doesn't quite predict the movement off the top, and now he just needs two more fireballs without ignite to finish off this kill. Schniggy still pushing forward, lands another beautiful shockwave to crack armor. One more is going to do it as Schniggy gets over the top side. 1 second on spring step, use it off cooldown, pop him off. Oh, he doesn't actually go for the air shot. This is just some panic moment coming in from Schniggy. You gotta calm down and secure your kill. As I say that, he shuts me up. Cam Sucks eats a fireball to the face, and Schniggy moves on. 2 kills for him, 15 people left. Game 6, OSK, let's get energetic, because this is the end of the event, and Borsalino's in here doing damage. Lol You So Bad Easy takes out Doc, that's a big kill, as Croza also drops off Airbender. 13 people left as Schniggy makes it rain boulders, and these fights continue, OSK.
Absolutely. Now he did let the adrenaline get to him right there, but he does end up taking the fight nonetheless, and he does it without really using any resources as well, which is very, very nicely done by Schniggy there. And now we see Croza, just like you said, getting the kill off to Airbender. I'd love to see his total exiles as well as Lol You So Bad Easy. He has to be at least 5 or 6. Borsalino with the 5 as well. It looks like we might have a very, very stacked final circle in terms of exile count, as Borsalino, I think, is absolutely dominating this fight. If I looked at the health bar correctly, yes, he is. Half HP on his opponent, and he is having the rune come off a cooldown right here. A firewall into dash, into stone shockwave will definitely take it all, and we see that tech coming in. The bedrock into dash. Beautiful stuff from Borsalino, absolute mastery of that class. And he finds himself not able to really finish it out. He will opt to separate and get some sort of heals off. Amaterasu with literally 2 HP. That is so dangerous. And now we see Smile out here with 1 exile to his name, about to be exiled himself if he's not careful. But he is turning it around very, very nicely. I'm not quite sure what the outcome of this is going to be, but he now has the health advantage. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, it looked like he actually had the health advantage for the majority of that fight, but he just manages to finish it onto Ace Shidness. So much pressure coming off from the Pyro to push forward and finish that. Legendary belt, like you mentioned, making such a difference in that combat situation. It allows you to really push your advantage, push your health, and push the fight. Now we see Armored X, Armored 3X. That is a just hard to drop name there as he rolls through. Does have teleport on the legendary cooldown, so that's going to be short. Waiting just a couple more milliseconds. It's up now. Doesn't quite use it. There's the deepness. No invalid target issue for him. He gets away with his life here. Shout out to the devs for fixing that invalid target issue. That was a big one, and it seems to be mostly gone now as Kalnar TV rolls up the top. Does have Spring Step off cooldown, saving a second stack. Kroza gets a kill with the lightning onto Amaterasu. We saw him earlier with about 3 HP, so Kroza was the one to finish that. And we're going to get into this one. 10 people left. Kalnar with the legendary belt. All sorts of leggy belts we see. Kalnar jumping up. Spring Step off cooldown ×2. Gets the first one. Throws it down. Misses the flame wall. Jumps up to the top. Now misses another one. But the air shot connects for 36 plus ignite. Kalnar just will not stop his reign of terror with the 3 fervor stacks and the recovery in the pocket too. He doesn't have armor anymore, but he also shatters the armor of his opponent, but eats it right to the face too. The DF doesn't connect, and Kalnar is still pushing now. Throws down the flame wall. Nice connection. Takes it, but doesn't get the firefly. So crucial. And now he's going to get caught in a bit of a storm situation. Takes the pot. Smart to be patient, but he's got to be careful. His opponent knows his HP, knows his position, but is getting third-partied. Kalnar gets a blessing from the Spellbreak heavens to get away with his life on that one. 10 people left, and he's going to take a Firefly to try to break the wall now. Getting through to the fight once again, working his way back into the engagement. Nice connection over the top. Kalnar gets another beauty. One more is going to do it if he can land it. Sees his opponent, needs to get it, but you see the panic setting in. There it goes! Right as I say that, he connects to the face, but his opponent might die to storm if Kalnar cannot secure it. Use that toxic. Whoa! What a banger through the wall. Kalnar hits it in mid-air on Spring Step. That is his second kill as we bounce around to more fights. This is just going crazy in the game 6.
Absolutely, and we saw Kalnar found out the power of recovery right there. It would have been only 2 shots killed, but he ends up having to land 3, so nice job from him. And now we see Spooks in a bit of a situation himself there, using the Firefly rather smart to transition from each bit of terrain. It's exactly what you want to do. Maybe use it initially for the pyrolysis, and then you can use it as a mix-up tool. His healing will be interrupted by, I believe that's Kroza on the lightning. And now he will actually get an opportunity to get his shield back, so that's very good for him. We're going to swap off to Megaverse, who hasn't found an exile. Very uncharacteristic of him right here. And he cancels the bedrock with the fireball. That's something I actually didn't know you could do, so that's really nice. And it looks like he won't be able to really finish this one out unless he can sort of actually just steal some of the damage off the third party, but Zayev steals his kill onto Schniggy. This is absolutely chaotic, and I hope he can find some sort of scoring for himself. It's unfortunate for him. He's going to opt to stay out of this one until he gets the last hit on somebody.
And look at this. It's unfolding right in front of our very eyes. Megaverse is the one to try to get back into this fight as these people trade damage. Megaverse now landing his feet on the ground, does have Spring Step, burns the first one, looking for a target, sees it up in front. It is an opponent with dash ring, so he knows that the air shot's going to be a difficult task, but he still looks for it. Doesn't connect now, sees his opponent. That's the Tempest. Got to keep that in mind as he looks for this fight. Cancels the boulder, doesn't want to go for the decision on that one, and just watches the Tempest zip away. Look at the perspective that Megaverse has over this map. This is what you want. You want to be able to see all the action, but you don't want to miss that crucial boulder. Now he's going to get put. Megaverse does have a very, very high HP. I'm not sure what his opponent's at, but I don't know if it's going to compare to Megaverse's 100-100. Jumping over the front side now, throws down the flame wall. Beautiful connection with a bit of DOT to match. 44 is going to connect off the shockwave. Now Megaverse pushing forward. The fireball to the face. His armor is almost broken, and so is his opponent. They are just going to be having to trade in a very intense situation. He's got to get out of here, OSK. He's about to get third party like nobody's business. 24 plus 20 onto the armor. That'll do it. And Megaverse is now just on the aggression, but this is what we were talking about. You cannot push so far so long with 7 people left in an open circle. Disaster strikes for the person Mega was fighting.
Yeah, definitely, and that's another thing I want to call out there. He's running Thirsty while his opponent might be running Recovery, so it's good for him to separate out. But Blizz is going to make short work of Borsellino as he does not miss a single wind shear. Beautiful stuff from him, and now we see Zayev floating in the air as well, trying to land any sort of fire shot he can. He doesn't have an offhand, he doesn't have a spell slinger into his talent selection, so it is just the fire that he's going to have to work with. I hope that works out well for him, but he'll need to keep the distance a little bit closer than what he currently is. But anyway, he's going to go and opt in for a different engagement, and I hope he doesn't get third-partied. It looks like he might. He is down to 42 HP. He is a prime target for anyone with the Lightning Gauntlet, and you know who is still alive in the lobby, and that is Croza. Needs to be very, very careful in this engagement. Let's see if he can make it out. I'm not sure that he can.
Nice fireball though from Zayaf on the backside. As you mentioned, Croza's still in the game, probably the biggest threat still in here, considering the pop-offs he has been having. But as I say that, don't let me discount Nasty Blizz and Megaverse. Both of them have been having banger days so far in this qualifier number 2. Looking at the top now, Croza is getting way up. Throws down the lightning sorcery, but doesn't get the damage. He's actually just going to hold sorcery using the classic Zen 860. Shout out to the GOAT for his sorcery holding innovations. Megaverse now jumping over the top side, hits a beautiful fireball to the face of his opponent, but is eating damage consistently as well. Takes a... Whoa! Megaverse hits a banger onto Nasty Blizz, and I need to catch my breath. That was a goddamn banger. And now we have 3 people left as Zayaf gets over the top side looking to assassinate Megaverse, but he doesn't know that Megaverse is actually quite healthy. Gotta be careful as Zayaf tries to get right into his face, but the trading will happen. Megaverse does land a beautiful boulder, but Zayaf is taking damage from the outside as well. The Storm is going to be a huge dictator of this fight. It's Croza, Zayaf, and Megaverse in this final 3 of Game 6, OSK.
Yeah, just saw Croza eat a fireball to the face for 41 damage, and now he's going to have to fly up and avoid the final fight here. It's actually really smart on his part here. We have 2 incredibly talented players going in. He gets 3 ignited off the firewall, but the lightning strike is going to come down and interrupt Zayav's source of damage. So now Croza is actually still in the tower. I thought he might have flown up by now. I'm not quite sure what the plan is right here. But it's
Zayaf
going well for him.
Side, checking the corners for the pots, and he bangs a fireball into Croza's face, but he doesn't land the win to finish. Look at Croza, he's so low. Zayaf knows it. The 8 tick is not enough. Croza's still just DPS checking this whole lobby. He is the central focus of both players. Remember that Megaverse is a Stone Shaper, so he's going to try to control the ground. Zayaf trading. Both of them are so low, and Croza is too. What is going on in Game 6 ending? Zayaf takes the DOT, but connects a fireball. What am I watching right now? As Zayaf also eats a shot. Trading down, drops the tornado, throws a fireball in it for good measure, and Croza gets out of the way just in time with the flight. You can expect half a second of sorcery holding as Megaverse goes down, and Croza with the fireball from top of the map. He bangs it, makes it rain. That's Game 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness, Croza somehow manages to edge that out. You saw him at 20 HP while hiding in the tower. He was actually able to maneuver his flight in such a way that he doesn't go out of the zone. That was amazing. And you know how difficult it is whenever that zone shrinks so small. You have to kind of curve up your flight there in such a way. Oh my goodness, what an absolutely masterful play from Croza to not only get Megaverse, but Zayaf as well to seal out the last game. That might actually carry him towards the top of our brackets. And I'm ready to see what our final score is here in just a moment. Just you wait, everybody. It's about to come up.
I'm going to have to go see a professional physician because I think my heart just skipped multiple beats. The end of that game was coming down to it, ladies and gentlemen. All 3 players with less than 50 HP and recovery taking. That is what we watch for. Thank you again for sticking around through a couple of issues in Game 5 to catch the banger that was Game 6. That is the end of qualifier number 2. We appreciate all your support. If you want to stick around, we're about to just read out these scores. You can see it live online. We'll show you guys exactly where we're at. We just got to wait a second to make sure we get everybody counted, double checked, and no cheating or scores are going to be in this one as we see the final results. Just give us a minute as we break down a little bit more of what we saw. But as we get back to what the game plan was for all of these players, I still think Nasty and his team had a great showing. The end of this was the most crazy show for Croza to pop off in multiple games. Borsalino also finally showing up for some massive performances. But the game was on Nasty for the start of this. This was just a crazy performance all around.
Yeah, great stuff from Team Nasty, both with Schniggy and with Blitz coming out in the NA side of things. Very, very nice. And in particular, great job by Blitz carrying it into the EU side of things, which is always very, very difficult to do, especially if you're not used to playing off regions. Some of your shots that may have connected before aren't exactly going to connect the next time. So it's great stuff to him. And speaking of region swap, we did see Croza finally show up in a big way on EU, absolutely dominating, if I do say so myself. He didn't quite get the double digit on game 5 like I hoped he would, but that damage and that exile count is still very, very high, and I am so excited to see what these final scores are. I think we're going to see some upsets.
Kroza is a goddamn monster. That's all I'm going to say. I'm watching the replay due to the stream delay. What was that? He stayed so calm. He was the one with the lowest HP through the entirety of that final 3 fight. I don't think he had a shred of armor for the entirety of that 1v1v1 situation. And he comes out with perfect sorcery usage to control the map, great usage of the runes to avoid all incoming sources of damage. Kroza with the pop-off to give you guys textbook work on how to play in these final situations. What a game 6. I'm so glad you guys could all see that one live. And we are just waiting a little bit longer for these scores to get in. I also want to announce tomorrow we have another qualifier at 11 a.m. Eastern, same time. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the debut of Crashy, the new element caster. We got a 3-man rotation, and I want you guys to make sure you're here showing love to the new caster when he comes in tomorrow for his big debut. OSK, tell me a little bit about what you got in store for us tomorrow.
Man, tomorrow I'm just going to try to give more of the same, okay? I'm bringing my A game every single time, and I think Crashy is going to be absolutely amazing. We've been practicing quite a little bit, and he is getting literally better and better and better every single practice session. So I really hope you enjoy him tomorrow. It's going to be great. And by the way, if you'd like to give to Element for exclusively to the prize pools, feel free to do it. We do have a dono button down below, and you can get your beautiful little name right there in that little bar if I can get my finger pointed correctly. There you go. Let's see. We got tacos on the 50. Oh, there's me with 50. Let's just go for it. Self-promotion on here. But anyway, anything is appreciated. And if you like to, obviously don't have to, but it would be nice. Anyway, we have some scores coming up for you here right now. Let's see who topped it out, and I think it'll be surprise plays because we have Kroza 1465, absolutely blowing the competition out of the water.
Let's go. Kroza with a huge pop-off in the second half of this event. This is why I love the Spellbreak scoring system, because you can turn your whole event around. Kroza coming out with a massive ending to finish off in first. Huge props to Megaverse as well. OSK, you made that prediction. You called Megaverse on a big day today, and you were right about it. Blizz as well had a fantastic performance all around, rocking Tempest across all 6 games. Borsellino, always a consistent player, a legend in this community, coming in 4th. And Camsucks, beautifully coming in 5th. And I think, personally, we didn't give Camsucks enough credit for what he did today. That's on us as casters for not giving him enough shoutouts. He came in on 5th in 839. Huge shout out to Camsucks for his performance today.
Absolutely, and I absolutely love to be proven wrong in terms of who shows up to these events. I love seeing these newer names come up. I knew Camsucks was good. I didn't know he was 5th place good, but he just proved it to me right here. And I will be very, very excited if that score is enough to carry him towards the finals. I'm so excited to see some. I know he's not a newer name, but some names that maybe we don't expect to see him come out in the finals. Oh, I hope he makes it, because that would be an absolute show to watch. Oh man, any final remarks, please?
I got a couple final remarks. I just want to review, just for those who can't see, if nobody's checking, ! Scores. We got Shingy, Schniggy, Kalnor, and Spooks were in 6th, 7th, and 8th. There it is. You guys can see it all live now. But anyway, huge shout out to everybody, not only for people participating, but to the beautiful people in chat. We really appreciate all the love, support, and all the just viewership you guys give us. It means the world to us. Coming through, make sure you're in the Element Discord if you're interested in these events or anything to do with the community. As OSK said, all subs and donations to this Twitch channel go directly to prize pools, 100% to prize pools. We're just trying to get some more events for you beautiful people in the community. And look at these beautiful graphs, courtesy of our graphics/production team and tournament operations.
Hold on just 1 second. Bring that stat sheet up right back, because I think I just saw something that changes one little thing towards the bottom. If we can cut back to with all the numbers on that little graph in the Excel document, bring it on back. I want to see something. Look at 5th and 6th place. Is that a tie for 5th place between Schniggy and Camsucks?
Oh my God.
Is that what I'm looking at? Is that 839 on the left?
I think that is the first tie in the top 10 we've ever seen in any element event. Thank you for pointing that out, OSK. That is huge. Shows you just how deep this pool was. All of the competitors came out to play. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. We might pull up the graphs one more time before we wrap it up here today and send off the raid to another community member. Here it is, once again, total exiles, total damage, so you can see a nice look. Remember, this is all viewable on the score sheet that's sent to everybody. Exclamation mark scores will get you there. Exclamation mark Discord will get you to the promised land that is Element Server. And I think that's it for us, OSK. I think I'm ready to send it off to you beautiful people tomorrow. Crashy and OSK, make sure you're here for tomorrow's event. This is a new rotation between casters. We're going to balance the time, introduce you guys to some new great people in the community, such as Crashy. And I think that's it, OSK. I think we wrap it up there, baby.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and send this raid off, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be right back here, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 Central for you Central Americans here. Let's go ahead and send it off to someone great and prominent in this community, in this wonderful community that is Spellbreak.
For sure. Have a great Saturday, everybody.
See you.